So in today's class we are going to revise, we will do a revision of the basic concepts of coordinate geometry from class 9. So as you know, everything in coordinate geometry starts with two perpendicular lines. Before that, let me ask you something. You are given a point, okay? So if someone asks you to locate this point, can you do it? Suppose this point is P. It is difficult to locate a point if just a point is given and nothing else is given, because you need a reference point. Location of the point with respect to what? It is like saying that you are standing on a field. You are standing on a field, but exactly at what spot? The exact location, if you don't have a reference point from where, then it is difficult to ascertain your position. Similar is the case with coordinate geometry. In coordinate geometry, there will always be a frame of reference, and the frame of reference is given by two mutually perpendicular lines like this, x and y. These axes are called x and y. And when you are asked to locate a point, you are asked to locate the point with respect to the frame of reference, this frame of reference. And the plane on which the point is located, it is called a Cartesian plane. So, in coordinate geometry, locating a point means locating the point with respect to a frame of reference. Okay? So, locating the point on the Cartesian plane, and this Cartesian plane is generated by this frame of reference. Okay? So, you have the frame of reference, you have to find the location of the point with respect to the frame of reference. This point is the origin. Its values are 0, 0. There are 4 quadrants: first, second, third, and fourth. Okay. Now, location of a point on the Cartesian plane is denoted by a pair of ordered numbers x and y. Okay. Don't confuse with the axis. It is x-axis and y-axis. These are coordinates. These are called coordinates. These are just the representation. Okay, we can write x1 and y1 also. Okay. So, location of a point on the Cartesian plane is given by a pair of ordered numbers x and y. X always comes first, value of x always comes first, then value of y. So, what does this numbers mean? What does this x and y denotes here? X, suppose this is the point. If you draw a perpendicular from the point on the y-axis, which is parallel to the x-axis, that gives us the value of x1 or abscissa. Okay, so abscissa is the x coordinate, and if you draw a perpendicular from the point on the x-axis parallel to the y-axis, this is parallel to this axis, y-axis, then it gives us the y coordinate or ordinate. Okay, so this is how we get the values of x and y. And the coordinates can have different signs assigned. and the coordinates can have different signs. On the first quadrant, both the coordinates will be positive. By the way, I am doing a revision only. I am not explaining everything. Okay, it is just a revision from class 9. So both the coordinates are positive. Suppose the perpendicular distance from here to here is say 6, and perpendicular distance from here to here is say 5. So what will be the coordinates? Perpendicular distance from y-axis 6, so it will be 6 and plus 6, because on the first quadrant both the coordinates are positive, and value of y is 5, y coordinate is 5 and plus 5, because as I said on the first quadrant both the values are positive, so the coordinates are 6 and 5. Point P will have coordinates 6 and 5. Okay. Similarly, on the second quadrant, suppose this point if we want to find the location of the point, we draw perpendicular from Q on Y. This gives us the x coordinate, right? Suppose this is 4. Suppose this is 5. Okay, and this is also 5. Perpendicular distance of Q to the x-axis, because this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So the coordinates of Q will be 5 and 5, right? No, coordinates of what Q will be minus 5 and plus 5, because on the second quadrant the x coordinate will have negative value and y coordinate will have positive value. Values of x coordinate is positive towards the right hand side of origin, here this side. So on the first quadrant and on this quadrant the values of x will be positive, like this point. Okay, and towards the left the values will be negative, like this point. Okay, and here the values of x coordinate will be negative, because it is on the left of the origin or left of the y-axis, towards the left. This is the origin, this is the y-axis. Towards the left of the y-axis the values of x is always negative, so we can have a coordinate like minus 4. Okay, and what will be the value of y coordinate? What will be the sign for the y coordinate? It will also be negative. Suppose something like this. So this will be a point on the third quadrant. We can have points like this on the third quadrant, because values of x towards the left of the y-axis, this is the origin, this is the y-axis, and towards the left values of x will be x coordinate will always be negative, and towards the right the values of x will be positive, x coordinate will be positive, all positive. Okay, and values of y towards the top half upwards. Okay, from the x-axis. This is the origin, this is the x-axis. All the values of y coordinates will be negative toward positive towards the top half and negative towards the bottom half, like this. Okay, values of x, positive x coordinate, positive towards the right hand side, negative towards the left hand side. Values of y coordinates, positive towards the top half and negative towards the bottom half. Okay, so any coordinate on this quadrant will be something like this, because values of x coordinate, and x coordinate will have positive value and then y coordinate will have negative value here. So on the first quadrant we have positive, both x and y positive. On the second quadrant we have first coordinate negative, second coordinate positive. On the third we have negative negative, and on the fourth we have positive negative. So you have done this before in class 9. Okay, it is just a revision, so keep this in mind. We have 4 quadrants and the values of the coordinates. How to find the values of the coordinates? We draw perpendiculars and then find their distance, and we assign the signs depending on which quadrant the point lies, like this. Okay, on the first quadrant we assign positive values, on the second quadrant we assign negative positive, on the third quadrant negative negative, and on the fourth quadrant positive and negative. And this is the origin. Okay, so these concepts are required because now we will do distance formula and some other concepts which will need help of these concepts. So that's it for today. We will start with the distance formula in the next class.